How to make a mixtape.
I didn't think that the year in review thing was going to be as fun.
I wasn't sure where it was going to go. I knew it would be diverse, at least.
I like the silly themes. I like a silly theme, and I was like, oh, cool, a year. This is not going to be that cool. But then as we started to get into the music and started to talk about it, I was like, oh, shit, never mind. This is, and I'm starting to think about other years that had as much influence, or like once I started to go down the rabbit hole of what came out when, and started to see like shit that came out in 90 versus 87, or I'm like, oh, this will definitely go on my 1990 mixtape. Or
I think it would be really fun. Like, I don't know if the listeners would care, but I actually think it'd be really fun to do like a 1920s year or some shit like that. Like, really have to figure out what the fuck we would put on a mixtape from the 20s. Okay, maybe not 20s. That might be too old, but like what the hell do you put on like an old? Like, I'd have to do a bunch of research on like what kind of like weird Dixieland stuff was coming out in like the 30s or some shit. That could be a weird, interesting episode. But
have you ever been in Nashville?
Yeah.
Have you done like any of the music tours in Nashville?
I never did a music tour. In fact, you know what? You know why I was in Nashville? Ron, our guest, he went to school in Nashville. And when my bands used to tour, we go through Nashville and we like stay with Ron. And so every time I've been to Nashville, it's been on tour. And well, 2 of those times was with Ron. And we just hung out. I never did a tour or anything.
Yeah, I've done the touristy shit when I went to Nashville. And I am always so stoked to find out like a city music history.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a cool theme, like the history of music in a city, like the history of Chicago music, the history of DC music. It reminds me a lot of the Foo Fighters. They had that docuseries where they recorded that album where they went to every city. Yeah. And I loved just the history
Sonic
of the music
Highways.
in the Sonic Highways. Yes, great call. Where they talked about the history of the music in each city and picked, it was always like there was a guest artist on each track.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I didn't think the year would be fun, and the year ended up being really fun. And Ron's a cool guy.
Yeah, Ron's good. Obviously we established I've known Ron for a long time, and I what's weird
we haven't had any real losers as guests yet.
Well, would we say if we had?
I would, everybody? For sure.
Fair enough. But no, we haven't, and I almost feel guilty that I hadn't thought about Ron sooner, because like we've talked about who we could have on as guests, and I'm like, Ron's an old friend. He's into music, and he's obviously good at this shit. He runs his own podcast. I don't know why he wasn't on my radar sooner, but when we were like, shit, we need a guest before our next 2. We have got a few planned, but we needed this one for various reasons. We're kind of trying to figure somebody out. And I was literally watching a video of his podcast, still not thinking about him as a guest. And then it just like, all of a sudden it just like hit me in the face. I'm like, what the fuck? Why don't I just ask Ron? So anyway, I was stoked he was able to do this on short notice, and it turned out great. And he did exactly what I thought he would do in a good way, which was he had like the indie scene down for the 80s, but influential indie stuff.
Surprised you didn't have that scene down.
Well, after last episode, I'm too paranoid to do that now, so I'm glad he did it for me, and I was able to
indie gunshot
spread my wings a little. Positives. So what are the positives on this one?
We recovered pretty well, all things considered, since your house is in the midst of a power situation.
Yeah,
Who saw that one coming?
That was wild. That was weird.
I think we did a super diverse mixtape.
I agree.
Got a lot of good shit.
That might be a common positive when we do that well, but I think those are my favorite mixtapes, is the really diverse, kind of all over the place ones. And this one has a lot of dynamics to it. I agree.
I'm not going to lie. I'm really looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, me too.
I've already got the thing planned where we'll go random number generator. I already have a song for each one.
Is that how we're doing it?
It's got to be. It's got to be how we do it.
The only other way would be draft. Like if I pick the song for one, that one's off the table. And if you pick, you know what I mean? But we could do random.
We got to go random.
Fuck it. Let's do random. All right. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it too. It's also just a nice like spot check Like it's a new it's a new podcast, and it's a nice little kind of like collect our thoughts, reflect a little bit.
Yeah.
But also still make a mixtape. It's going to be fun.
Yep. A good one too.
I do feel like the only miss on this one is there was some influential hip. I know I did Salt and Peppa, but you brought up Eazy-E and I brought up Eric B and Rakim both as honorable mentions, and it feels like they deserve more than just an honorable mention, but I just couldn't get myself to put that in front of one of the others was the problem. So it was like a more like song to song comparison issue than it was like a influence on culture decision.
Do you ever have regret of the songs that you did offer up and you're like, fuck, I should have done, like I suffered it severe on the Canada episode when I didn't put Pup on there. I'm still so pissed I didn't put Pup on the Canada podcast, the Canada mixtape. Honestly, whereas like is In Excess better than Boys in the Hood? Is fucking Never Tear Us Apart? Does that need to be in there over Boys in the Hood? Probably not.
I don't know. Have I had regret? I'd have to go back and listen to my honorable mentions again. I don't think. I think I'm good at just putting it in the past as soon as it's done. I haven't. Nothing's really sat in my head afterwards. There's been a couple times where I was bummed that somebody stole a pick first because I wanted to be the person to bring up the thing. But that's but at least that artist made the playlist, you know. Like last week, like I'm stoked Carr picked Bon Iver, but I still think my song's sadder and better. And I wish I gotten to put my song on the mixtape. I still got to talk about it on the podcast, but the song she chose is on the mixtape, and I think mine would have been better. But
I haven't really digested. I haven't dove into Carr's mixtape. I don't want to. It's summertime. Like it's nice out. Like that's going to be, I'm going to save that one for like weather changes.
Right. Yeah. I think
it's heavy.
I think it's a good point. I think, I have one, but it's not a specific song I regret, but I will say that when we did the spring episode, I had not had nice weather yet. And it is crazy how your brain behaves differently based on that stuff. So I was putting myself in past me's shoes with the whole like windows down thing, right? But as soon as it actually happened, I went outside, I got in my car, went on a drive, nice day, put my windows down, and instantly a song popped in my head. And I didn't put that song on the mixtape. And that to me is like, well, fuck, if this is the song that popped in my head for this episode, why? That's what should have been on my mixtape. Don't give the
song away. Save it.
I am. I'm saving it. I'm saving it. But you know what I mean, though, right? It's like
of course.
Until I went through that experience, like I thought I knew what my Windows Down jam was, and I was wrong because my brain went somewhere else. So we'll see if I get to use that song in the future or not.
June 20th, first day of summer. We got to line up the guest for the summertime mixtape.
Yep, got to talk to you about that. I think I have a guest lined up.
Oh, I love it. Great
already.
Job.
So, but I haven't brought it up yet.
Okay.
So
we'll save it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Keep chugging along. Apparel to come soon. We've got it all sorted out. Yeah. We know what's happening.
Apparel to come soon. I'm stoked.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, man. Well, that was fun. That was a good episode.
Hop on the road. Be careful driving.
Yep. Gotta go for a drive. All right, man.
We'll talk soon.
Talk later. Peace.
How to make a mixtape.